Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Welcome to another edition of It Takes Two, where we explore romantic issues and marital issues that are presented to us. I have to my left my co-host, Sister Ruby Sowa. Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Alaikum salam.
And to my immediate right, I have Sayyid Musli. Assalamu alaikum, Sayyid.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah bless you.
Thank you very much. So if it's okay, we can just jump into the first scenario straight away. So I have a letter, and it reads, Dear It Takes Two, I've been married for less than a year. I recently been finding myself regretting the choice I made in regards to choosing the woman I have married. We have communicated our wants and our desires from the first day that we began our courtship. My wife, however, has acted against my wishes and has done the most unforgivable thing. Due to financial constraints, we decided to delay having children. In all honesty, I am not ready to be a father. My wife was well aware of this. However, she took it upon herself to tamper with several forms of birth control we were using. I am struggling to forgive this deceit. I no longer trust her, and I can barely look at her, let alone go anywhere near her. She disgusts me. Very emotional letter from an anonymous viewer in Canada. Wow. Said, what? There are a number of issues that come up based on that letter that the brother has presented us. What are the first things that comes to mind in terms of addressing their issues?
This letter is completely not accepted. I mean, this man has written his words when he was angry. And I cannot at all accept what he has written, because his wife did not do any wrong. It is not his decision that his wife becomes pregnant or not. He is concerned about his own health, but she is having her full right to be pregnant or not to be pregnant. Islam does not give the husband the right to prevent his wife from becoming pregnant, as far as she didn't do anything wrong. He does not want the child. It is not for him only, because she is also the mother to be.
Yes.
She has got the right to be mother, and the husband has no right to prevent his wife from becoming a mother. So if he says, I don't want children, okay, that is your problem. That's your issue. But if she wants children, he cannot stop her. If she did not do anything wrong, and he is writing that she did unforgettable. What wrong?
Strong terminology.
Very strong, very, very extreme.
Could it be to do with the possible deceit? If, as he's saying, if they've agreed as a couple that they would pursue a certain course, and as a wife and a husband they've agreed, okay, this is what we will pursue, and then it's come to his attention that the wife has gone against those wishes, in a way of not being straight with him.
That also needs evidence. He cannot put allegation on her that she deceived him. No. He thinks that. We need to listen, hear from her what she says. Many times, both couples try not to have children, then children
stillborn.
Yes. That is not the first case. Millions of cases when both of them don't want children, Allah wants. When it happens, no one has right to put allegation on the other that she has cheated him. No, she did not cheat him. No evidence. Number one, she has right. And there is no point and no ground to take the right of the wife from having children whenever she wants. So I advise this brother to cool down, number one, and to understand, number two, his rights and her rights. It is within her rights to be a mother.
Okay. I want to just stop it there. There is something I want to come back to, but I just want to bring in Sister Ruby for a moment.
I'm so happy to hear what the Sheikh has said. Of course, I'm in agreement with what the Sheikh says. It is when you're in a marriage, females have rights too, and one of the rights is to become mothers. I think what the Sheikh was saying, and what I think, is that there was a communication issue. He was mentioning financial. He didn't feel that he was ready to be a father. This happens a lot. When you become parents, nobody's ready. You don't get a book that tells you everything that's going to happen in life. Allah is the best of planners. They're married. It's not like this has happened outside of marriage. It's a blessing. And I think, Allah says that He provides for everybody. It doesn't sound like
he doesn't acting blessed, is he?
He's not acting blessed. I think he's angry.
Gone against his wishes.
Well,
couples need to communicate. He's communicated his desire, and she's done
They
something.
have done that, and she also has a desire, and it's her right to have children. And Allah will provide. The biggest deceit ever is ridiculous. Nothing haram has happened here. Biggest deceit. He's angry. He needs to calm down. It is her right. It's not fair. I think the issue is just communication. The child's now going to be here. They need to move on from it.
You say communication. What do you mean by that?
Well, they had a chat. For whatever reason, she decided that she wanted to become a mother. We don't even know what happened. Like the Sheikh said, maybe Allah decided.
Said.
Yeah, sorry, Sayyid
and
said.
Also, sorry, to add here that the financial constraint cannot justify preventing the mother or the wife from becoming a mother, because this issue of financial constraint is clearly mentioned in Quran. That those who fear poverty avoid having children, Allah will grant sustenance for them and for their children to come. They should not stop having children just because of financial constraint. In fact, the child comes, and Allah will send provisions for the child when the child comes.
We see this a lot in life, when you try and plan everything perfectly and then something happens. I think what the brother needs to do is calm down.
Does he have a right to be angry? Is it healthy anger, or is he expressing it?
Everybody, the way this is, as the Sayyid said, this is beyond anger now. This is ridiculous. He may have been shocked. It might be the way he's trying to express himself. But to use the language that he has used is very, very overboard. He has a right to his feelings.
It sounds like a hurt person speaking.
He is a hurt person, but Allah's the best of planners. This is in a halal situation. No one can plan everything perfectly. I think he needs to just, get over it. And
okay, let me, if I may, push the boat out just a little bit, just to explore it a little bit deeper. I'm thinking that in this world, it's not only the financial aspect of being a father or being a parent in general,
right?
But there is that emotional aspect of when a person feels, man or woman, I feel ready to have children because of where I'm at, whether it's in my career or just psychologically or emotionally. And if it's something that you speak about before you get married, and then you feel, okay, this one party, because it could have worked either way.
Life is not perfect, Brother Bilal. Life is not perfect. And if we wait for everything, the right moment will be extinct. I think we understand he's probably, who knows, trying to raise money, get a mortgage, who knows. But this situation is now here. We don't have time to be angry. We need to be blessed and hope that the pregnancy goes well.
Inshallah.
And move on from that. They're in a marriage. I mean, it's a perfect place for this to happen. It's in a marriage, it's halal, and they both have rights. Okay, they had a discussion, it didn't work. Okay, there's worse things to be, but he needs to calm down. I think
I can feel it for both parties. I can feel it because for a wife to agree to something, and then if we're going by what he's saying, because obviously there's two sides to the story, so we can only talk about what is being presented. For a wife to feel that urge, that
but it's her right. She's in a marriage. It's her right to have children. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. No, my point is that I feel it for both parties, because for a wife to do something behind her husband's back, even if it is
well, maybe they'd been married for 10 years and we don't know how long they're married for.
We don't know.
But I think he needs to calm down.
What say you?
I'd like to add also, for this brother and every parent who sometimes show that they are unhappy with the pregnancy. Number one, it is not in your hands. It is he who decides. He decides. All the precautions do not mean no children.
Definitely true.
It is in his hands.
For sure.
Number two, wait for 2 years or less. You will see after 2 years what love you will have to the child that you didn't accept when the child was created. All parents, after the birth of the child, few months after that, when the child is, say, 1 year, the attachment between them and the child makes them forget all that past. Because that is something from God, the relationship between the parents and the child. Now, this brother should not do injustice to his innocent wife. The wife did not create the child. Allah created the child. And the wife has got right. If she deliberately did that, she has the right.
To deliberately do that?
Yes, she can. Deliberately. She can. In Islam, if the husband says no, and the wife says, I want a child, Islam says it is her right.
Okay. May I pose a question, Sayyid?
Yes, please.
What about in the situation where the husband says, not right now, no, and the wife says, okay, not right now, no, and then she still goes ahead in that situation? Okay. We don't know the facts, but we generalize now for others
here
who
we
are
have
watching.
An issue of not fulfilling a promise. If she promises him that, okay, I will not. In this case, how to prove that she did it deliberately?
Exactly.
How to prove it?
With malice.
We have no mean to prove that. So I would like to request this brother to be more fair and not to victimize his wife, because he has written that she disgusting to him, which is very, very strong word.
I think it's the actions, what she's done is really
hit a passionate part of him that
he
seems welled up.
It's just language. It's just language.
No, it is not fair at all. Being a Muslim, I believe that he's a Muslim because he's listening to Safir TV. So it is not fair at all to blame your wife. It is He, Allah, who created the child. You should thank Allah, even if you are not ready now mentally, emotionally. Leave it on Allah.
Okay.
Because the wisdom of Allah who created that child is much more than your wisdom.
For sure.
Really it is. And sometimes you get the answer later, as the Sayyid said, when the child comes, maybe you look back and say, oh, I see the hikmah, the wisdom behind it. But I think I, as a woman, I understand his frustration that he may feel that she didn't stick to her side of the bargain. But everyone needs to cool down and move forward.
We pray for them that they're for a healthy birth for their child, and we pray that inshallah that he will bond with that child even before the child is born. Inshallah. If it's okay with yourselves, I'll move on to the next scenario. Okay. So the next letter we have is. It reads, it takes two. I want to divorce my wife. I believe she has lied to me. Before we got married, she told me that she was a virgin. I suspect, despite her denial, that she was not. Denying meaning she was, holding on to her claim. I did not have my suspicions beforehand because I noticed I did have my suspicions beforehand because I noticed a couple of things. An example was that she would walk in a particular way that was not virginal. Islamically, can I get divorced? Now, that's one question, can I get divorced? But there seems to be a number of very relevant issues to discuss. What would you like to say first of all, Said?
Number one, this person is having doubts without real evidence, and he cannot put such allegation on his wife that she was not a virgin. And the example that he has given is ridiculous. It is baseless.
Sorry,
the way
we don't
she didn't
have
walk
at all such evidence that the way she walks, that is not there at all. From where he brought this? We don't have at all any way of proving virginity by the way of walking at all. So this brother is having doubts which are not proved, not supported by any evidence. He should fear God. He should not doubt his wife without evidence.
He seems to have would read that he had doubts before they got married, and she had to enforce her status.
His doubts either supported with evidence or not supported. If there was an evidence, he should mention the evidence. No evidence. That's why what he mentioned, which should be his strongest argument, is the way of walking, which is baseless.
We wouldn't say there's evidence. You might say it's a hypothesis. It's just an idea.
It's not even a hypothesis. It's void. It's ridiculous.
Not at all.
What say you, Sister Ruby? Help us out.
I'm so angry with the letter stuff, and what I'm thinking about it. He was probably from a different culture. People in the West who would listen to that letter will think, what kind of a letter that is that? Why is that relevant? I think the fact that he had doubts, if he had doubts, as the Sayyid said, he needed to raise them before all of this. This issue of walking, from a medical perspective, that's null and void. There's no such thing. You cannot prove somebody's this way or another way by the way they walk. And I would say, in our faith, it is very important to keep pure and, keep yourself for marriage for the pleasure of Allah. First of all, that's between you and Allah. If you have any doubts and if anything has happened, again, Allah's the best of judges. So if he has any questions, how is that helpful now? I mean, how is this? Why does he wants to divorce somebody because he has a doubt with no evidence?
So then he is writing that she lied to me.
It's an accusation.
Where's the lie here? Where's the lie?
So just a question, Said. Is it an Islamic requirement that a woman has to be a virgin to be married in Islam?
No. You see, in Islam, virginity is not a condition in marriage at all. The virgin can marry, the non-virgin can marry. The difference is that the virgin needs the approval of her father or paternal grandfather for her marriage, the virgin. While the non-virgin does not need approval of her father or her grandfather, and she can decide herself.
Okay.
Otherwise, no condition at all. But if she has told him that I am a virgin, and then he discovered that she was not virgin. Discovered means with evidence, not with doubt.
Not with about walking or anything.
No. Real evidence, right. Like say medical checkup.
Yeah.
Something which is accepted by the experts. In that case, of course, even bleeding is not an evidence that she is
I was going to say from a medical perspective, no.
Many cases that the bleeding doesn't take place.
For sure.
Exactly.
But she is still virgin.
Mm-hmm.
Because of doctors, they know that the reasons for that.
Yes.
So if there is a concrete evidence that she is not virgin, the husband has got right of the difference in the mahr, dowry, difference between the mahr of the virgin and the mahr of the non-virgin. For example, if the mahr was £1,000 and the non-virgin mahr is 800, so he has got the right of that difference, £200. For example, I mean the difference in the mahr between the virgin and other virgin, but he has no right to divorce her.
Not on those grounds.
No. He has no right. That also, if there is a concrete evidence, not only doubts.
I was going to say, this is a very big important issue in a lot of cultures, especially Middle Eastern cultures, Indian, Pakistani cultures as well. The issue of, especially for ladies, before they get married, they should be pure for their husbands, etc. So I'm thinking he's probably...
Even that term, pure.
Well, that's what virgin means. If you look in the dictionary, it's quoted as being pure.
Isn't a Muslim always pure?
Well, I don't know, Bilal. Are they always pure? I don't know. But my issue is, I think what he means is many men expect that when they get married for the first time that the woman is a virgin. That's what they would expect. And I don't know. I think it's such a personal question. I would hope the woman would have fear of Allah and would be accountable to Allah. I think it's such a loaded question. It's almost embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed if somebody said that.
Yeah, I mean,
to me, it's so...
It's a very sensitive... It is a very sensitive topic. I wanted to ask something else about this scenario to you both. What if the wife is telling the truth?
What if she is?
Yeah. And
then alhamdulillah.
What's your thoughts about the situation? What's your reflections?
Well, if she is telling the truth, I'm really happy because she's doing whatever Allah requests her to do. And if she's not, that's between her and her Lord. I don't want to judge anybody. I don't know their situation. I'm not.
No, I meant in a sense of her relationship with her husband. Can it be, hopefully, inshallah, resolved?
Well, how would you prove it afterwards? You've been married. There's no way you can... There are some scientific ways. I don't think he's going to spend money to go to go and check. What, why? What's the issue? If you had doubts, you needed to voice them. And the fact that you had doubts, but you still got married, what were you trying to prove?
Adding on also a point that many men, as many women, are suspicious. And suspicion itself sometimes is unhealthy. So some men, they think always bad. They have doubt without any evidence. So if this person is doubting his wife without any concrete evidence, he should go and take consultation from those who can help him to come out of the state of suspicion. Because suspicion itself, when it goes beyond the evidences, can be
dangerous.
Something, harming both of them.
Do you know, I believe I read in the Quran that it says sometimes suspicion can be like a sin.
Yes, إِنَّ بَعْضَ الظَّنِّ إِثْمٌ. Yes. Some of the suspicion is sinful.
In a scenario like this, would the verse of that nature apply to maybe situations like this if it becomes extreme? Or?
No doubt. If he puts allegation on his wife that his wife did something wrong, because saying that she is not virgin, that does not mean wrong, because many females lose their virginity while exercising,
riding a bike,
riding bicycle, or playing sports.
Yeah.
It's possible. And that is proven. But if he says that she lost her virginity because of some wrong behavior, I mean, she committed, for example, fornication, that is a very dangerous sin to put allegation on her. And if he does not prove it, he, according to Islamic rules, must be punished. He must be punished because he has put allegation on an innocent female without full evidence.
So this is like damaging somebody's reputation.
Well, it could, the family as well. Imagine if the girl's family here, if this was in the Middle East, this would be really quite a shameful. It would have big ramifications. And this can destroy lives. It happens a lot. I've seen it. Just, an allegation's made and it tarnishes the girl forever. And so he needs to be careful. I think he needs to fear Allah a little bit. Inshallah. Subhanallah.
We're just coming up to a break. So, Sayyid, if you'd like to just summarize, what would be the best way forward for this young brother?
For this gentleman who is doubting his wife, I would like to advise him to leave the doubt aside and take a piece of paper and write if he has any evidence which can stand as a proof. If he has no evidence, he should not have any doubt, and he should seek help from Allah to make him away from the satanic whispering, because one of the satanic whisperings is to doubt the innocent, and his wife is innocent unless and until he has got full evidence of that.
Okay. So the brother needs to make dua, read Nas and Falak and trust in, put his trust in Allah, inshallah. Okay. We're going to stop for a short break and we hope to see you on the other side of It Takes Two. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to It Takes Two. Before the break, we were talking about a scenario regarding a wife who was accused by her husband of not being a virgin before she was married, and then something came to mind. I wanted to ask a question to both of yourselves. Actually, I'll start with yourself, Sister Ruby. Is this idea about virginity and purity, and yes, people who have kept their character noble and chastity. This is obviously something that is very respected in Islam, but it's almost like a kind of inference that for those who have been married, have known people, their spouses in a certain way, and are not married anymore, that are they impure or in some way sullied or something of that nature? And I just wanted to get your feedback as a sister about things of this nature. Maybe it's me as a Westerner, but I just have to ask that question as a Muslim nonetheless.
So, rephrase the question, sorry.
So my question is, do you think that there is a overemphasis on the virginity and purity in that sense, or that concept of purity?
I think in any main religion, you look at Christianity, you look at Judaism, all major religions have this concept of chastity, of being pure. And why is that? Because chastity is equivalent to being close to God, godliness, being mindful, following rules, protocols. And this is all for the pleasure of Allah, not because of mankind. I don't like this notion that we're doing it to prove, maybe keep our family's name. Everything we do has to be for the pleasure of Allah. All major religions have that. Right. Of course, life happens. In the West, you have people who revert to Islam. They've had a different lifestyle and stuff. Virginity doesn't mean you have good character, that you have good akhlaq, that you're a pious person, that you follow your religion. It might be a situation that you haven't had a situation that has led you into temptation. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are of good character. There's plenty of people that we know who are very prestigious in our community that don't have these things. Yes, it is important, as I said, but for many people, they may, as you said, they may have been married before.
Right.
They may be divorced. As long as you're trying to please Allah, this is my opinion, I'm not a scholar. As long as you're trying to please Allah, Allah's all forgiving and all merciful. And if you've had a past before and you've come back into Islam or whatever, it's fine. Look at our Prophet, peace be with him. He married people who were divorced, etc.
That's what I'm thinking of.
But I think this is a cultural question. When people get married for the first time, it's very important for them to marry a lady that is chaste. But at the same token, you have many sisters who marry brothers who have had a past, and you don't get the same emphasis when it's a brother. You hardly hear a sister say, "Oh, are you a virgin?" to a brother. They don't ask it in the Middle East. It's almost rude to ask that question.
The concept doesn't exist of male virginity in that.
Well, I think for many people it's a different rule. I think as a woman, many times you're not meant to ask these questions and you're meant to toe the line. But for me, it would be most important that you're trying to please Allah. And inshallah, I hope the brother's married somebody that he feels is God-fearing, and that would be most important. That's just my opinion.
Inshallah.
Good to say it.
And yourself, Said, what is this issue of, or this perspective in Muslim cultures about virginity? Is it directly Islamic? Is it more cultural? You know, like, can a man stipulate, I want that to be a part of the condition of my wife must be a virgin? Is that okay? Or?
You see, it depends. Usually, the pious female does not have any sexual relationship before marriage. That's why virginity is important. Leaving aside some abnormal cases when virginity can be lost for medical reasons, or for previous marriage, no one will blame because he knows that she was previously married. But a female who is marrying for the first time, is expected to be virgin. And virginity is an evidence, not the full evidence, but an evidence of evidences of her being pious person.
Okay.
Usually, pious man does not want to marry a female who deliberately had sexual relationship with other men before marriage. So in this sense, yes, virginity is important. If there is no reason of losing virginity like previous marriage or medical reason.
Is it the same for a male, Sayed? Is it okay for a female to expect the same from a male, to be a virgin before he got married? Because, you know, with the young people, a lot of the young brothers, for example, they it's okay for them to date, etc. But when they want to get married...
Dating?
Pardon?
Dating is okay?
I didn't say it's okay. I'm just saying there's sections of our community that they do that. And then they say it's okay because they're boys. But when they get married, they want somebody. It happens, really. That is a virgin. But the boys can go and have fun. It's almost like, well, it's okay because they're boys. What would you say to that, Said? Especially to the young boys who think it's okay, especially in the West, because there's so much pressure for them.
Wrong is wrong, coming from male or female. Wrong is wrong. To have sexual relationship out of the frame of Islam. Islam has the frame of permanent marriage and the frame of time fixed marriage, temporary marriage.
Correct.
Any sexual relationship out of the frame of Islam is a sinful act, whether it is from female or from male. Both of them are wrong.
Okay. And the reason why, just to sort of finish on this point before we move on, the reason why I ask a question, because I sometimes have concerns of the stigma that is attributed to Muslim women who are married and then they become divorced because they're not happy in the situation they are in, and then it's like, well, she's a divorcee, she's she's not pure, so there's a stigma, and then it's hard for them to get remarried, and then sometimes women become prisoners in kind of like intolerable situations.
This is a cultural situation that we have. Obviously, as the Sayyid has said, it's clear in the Quran, divorce is allowed. Obviously she's been married, things have happened, but it's not meant to tarnish you with a stick. What if she was widowed? Then what would happen? So I think it's people's minds. People are creating too much fitna. It's a cultural thing. I think we should encourage divorced women to remarry, and we should encourage brothers to say it's okay. They don't have the plague. This is something that Allah
dislikes. And the Quran doesn't rule
but
against it, and
exactly.
And it's part of the Sunnah. So.
And sometimes, people, I've known Muslims, subhanallah, that they've had the hijab on, the chador, and they act pious, but they're not. And it's the reverts who have come in, who have changed their lives around, are the most beautiful people. So, Allah's the best of planners.
Okay, only because of time, I'll move on. But very, very interesting points raised by you both. Next letter reads, Dear It Takes Two, my in-laws are nuts. Mostly my mother-in-law, because I got married. Before I got married, she acted normal. After I got married, she started acting like a crazy person. To make matters worse, she even started living with us. My husband doesn't seem to have a backbone when it comes to his mother. Even if he finds her annoying, he doesn't say a word. My mother-in-law enters bedrooms without knocking on doors at unacceptable hours. She criticizes my dress sense, food and cooking on occasion. And when I was pregnant and I was getting a little fat, she referred to her as, are you pregnant? Because you seem a little bit fat, yes. Yeah. And it's almost like my husband's mother did it on purpose. She was nice until we got married, and then it was like she trapped me. I'm in a relationship with my husband and not his mother. I cook, or feels like I'm in a relationship with the mother too. I cook for her, clean after her, and keep her entertained. I want to move out. I want her to move out. Do I have any right to ask this? And is there anything you can suggest? And this is a anonymous viewer from Scotland.
It's all right to
say it. There's a whole host of issues.
This issue is a common situation in millions of houses. I say millions.
Not many, but millions.
I say millions, yeah. The issue between the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. And same daughter-in-law, after some time, she becomes mother-in-law, and she also treats her daughter-in-law in different
the cycle
ways.
continues.
So it is more or less a matter of understanding. The mother-in-law should have understanding that she is not allowed to enter the room of her daughter-in-law without permission. Not allowed in Islam. It is haram.
It's not a small thing.
It is haram.
It is bad
insulting.
Manners. My goodness.
It is insulting, and it is violating the basic rights of dignity and privacy.
Yeah.
So it is wrong. She cannot say, I am mother, so what? Does she accept anyone entering her bedroom anytime without permission? She cannot. So how can she do thing which is not accepted by her for herself? Wrong. And also wrong to deal with the daughter-in-law in a way making her feel insulted. The reasonable mothers-in-law deal with their daughters-in-law as they deal with their real daughters. Does she accept, if she has real daughter, that her real daughter faces the same situation where she lives? She does not accept.
But don't mother-in-laws, like parents, have rights on their children? What about as a mother? Does she have some rights?
The rights of the parents on the children cannot be denied, but it is not from the rights to enter the bedroom without knocking the door or taking permission. That is not from the rights. No. The right of the parents on their children to respect them, to serve them, to deal with them with very nice ways and manners, yes, but not to accept wrong things from the parents. After all, they are human beings and the human beings' rights are equal. And you know the very famous statement of Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam, always deal with people as you want them to deal with you. The mother-in-law should deal with her daughter-in-law as she wants others to deal with her, to respect her dignity, privacy. That's the way. Now she is asking, am I allowed to ask my husband to get me a separate house? Here the question of the parents come. It is not obligatory on the husband to take his wife away from his parents' house. As far as he is providing her with her rights, his wife's rights should be fulfilled, all her rights, without any insult, without any harm. But if her staying with her in-laws means definite insult and definite violation of her basic rights, it is the responsibility of the husband to either save the rights of the wife or get her somewhere else.
Okay. Sister Ruby, I know there's a number of things that you probably want to say, but I have to ask you, does he need to speak to his mother-in-law? Does he need to stand up and speak to his mother, should I say? The brother, does he need to?
I think he should, but obviously there's a way to do this. I think what the problem is, and it's in so many cultures, is that there's a certain section of women, when their children get married, they want to be the queen of the house, which are some of these mother-in-laws. So
this happens in a community. This isn't some bizarre, strange letter.
This happens in European culture. Basically, you've got my child. What a blessing my child is. You've come into the family. You know, my child deserves better than you. It's all this fitna. It's in so many cultures, and then in a lot of Islamic cultures and Eastern cultures, a mother is really in a good position. You know, they don't want to upset their mothers, etc. But as the Sayyid mentioned, you have to remember yourself. This mother was married once herself. She came into somebody's home. Imagine how she felt. You know, you're new in the marriage. You're trying to find your own feet. You're trying to grow as a couple. You're trying to.
So she was there once. She too was there once.
She was there once. So let's not forget everyone has been in that situation. And it's completely un-Islamic. It's really bad adab not to knock on doors and give people the respect they need. But I think a lot of the time mother-in-laws do this because they feel insecure. They feel that...
How do you mean?
They feel that their child's going to go away from them. So they latch on. You can't cook food better than I can. My son likes it like this. You're not being a good wife. Why do you look like this?
There's a competitive edge
you know,
to
with women, there is unfortunately some competitiveness between the mother and the daughter, the family that's there and the family that's coming in. It's really bad because we're all a unit, but we have this. And I think, you know, the brother, just out of respect for his wife, in a nice way, make the mother comfortable to say, look, you're always going to be my mother. Inshallah, you're going to be a grandmother one day. Your wisdom, your knowledge is so appreciated. We need you here as a support, you know. Work as a team. So she feels comfortable because maybe she feels that she's put all her energy in this child and now somebody else is coming in
to reap the rewards. So he needs to make his mum feel secure.
I think he needs to, it's his job to make both the ladies secure, make his mum feel secure. this is not a stranger. This is someone we're adding to the family. We don't need to have all this chaos. We could really blend in nicely.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think he needs to have some boundaries between the both of them.
You said that this is like a cycle. Sometimes it happened, like the mother-in-law would have been that young lady at one point. Why do you think this continues? This cycle, why does it repeat?
Sometimes history repeats itself. She went through it. Maybe she feels that because she went through it, she has to inflict the punishment on somebody else. Maybe she actually doesn't know she's doing this. Maybe she really thinks it's her right. Sometimes you ask people, you highlight you're doing this, and they're so shocked that her son is a man now. He's not a child. He's going forward with his life.
Indeed, he is a man.
And he needs to be allowed to do that. And she needs to step back and allow the couple to grow. And inshallah, if she does that, she will see, inshallah, the daughter-in-law will respect her more
inshallah.
And be open. But this happens a lot.
It does.
It does. To the mother-in-laws. Mothers-in-law usually try to keep control. As our sister mentioned, that she wants to be the queen of the house. Okay. But the queen of the house, in fact, becomes really queen when she is being beloved by the people in the home. She will be queen on their hearts, and then they will reflect that respect.
Yes.
If she mistreats her in-laws, she will not be queen of the house. She will be looked at in a different eye. So for your favor, for your benefit, my respected mothers-in-law, be more sympathetic, more understanding, more tolerant, more caring, then you will be the queen of the house in the right sense of it.
Definitely be better than their own mothers, because inshallah when they have grandchildren, she wants to see her grandchildren. Why would she the daughter allow this? So I really like that advice.
That's good.
But that does not mean that the son should ill-treat his mother.
No.
How does he balance it then? Because that was my question. My next question was going to be, so mother has rights, paradise lies under the feet of your mother, but your wife, your life partner, has rights also. And how does he balance that?
The balance is, you are not allowed to do injustice on your wife, and you are not allowed to do injustice on your mother. Be just. Give everyone, your mother and your wife, her rights. And don't allow anyone to exceed the limit to do injustice on the other. As you, mother, has got the biggest right on you, that biggest right on you will never allow you to do injustice on your wife. This is the balance.
That's the balance, because there's a tricky situation that's come up in there. I wonder how the brother is able or was able to deal with it, where the mother-in-law said, to his wife that, are you pregnant because you look fat? I mean, women and their weight in most societies, it can be a bit of a sensitive area, and somebody can genuinely ask, are you pregnant? But there's a way that you can ask that when it is like a under the table offensive.
Sometimes as women we do pop shots at each other. We say things that we know will get under somebody's skin. We know how to do this.
Exactly.
It's a competitive thing. I think the daughter-in-law has to be patient as well.
Inshallah.
And I think the mother-in-law has to say things sweetly and nicely. And they need to stop. This is schoolgirls behavior. Really, they're both adults. They both have a place in the husband's heart, different place. This is ridiculous.
Okay, all right, we're nearly finishing. Said I wanted to leave the last word of advice or summarize for the viewers in general that may be facing similar situations.
Understanding the big right of the parents on the son, husband. parents should look after their son and their daughter-in-law. And if they want their son to live happy life, they should not cause any misunderstanding in the house, because after all, their son will suffer. If they pressurize on their daughter-in-law in a wrong way, and if you deal with her in an insulting way, the fire will reach to the husband. He is their son. So it is in their favor and in the favor of their son to be more caring and lovely with their daughter-in-law. Sons should look after their parents in all aspects, but they should not allow any injustice on their wives or children.
Excellent. Said, thank you for sparing us the time to come over to the studio today. And Sister Ruby, always a pleasure. And to you at home, until next time, stay safe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu.